Not sure why he's not connecting. Smitty. What the hell?
Oh, I got 2 new bumpers in there. Let's run tonight.
Cool.
Get those in the rotations. Let me know when you got Smitty ready.
Well, I'm not sure why he's not connecting.
All righty, good evening, everyone. Welcome into Sports Talk here on Sports Talk Media Network. A brand new week after a terrific weekend of baseball and a little NASCAR out west, NBA playoffs, golf action as well. U.S. Women's Open wraps up, and now the PGA Tour, hey, it moves back to South Carolina this week for that tournament down at the Congaree course. So we'll be keeping a close watch on that this week. Hope you had a great weekend. Glad you're with us tonight. Plenty of time for your phone calls. Lots to talk about from over the weekend. Feel free to share your thoughts. 888-898-2525, South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number here on Sports Talk. Phil Kornblut and Pat Daniel here at our studios in Columbia. Chris Bergen is at the beach. He's at a Jimmy Smith location, enjoying his vacation this week, so he'll be gone. But joining us, the friendly voice from the past, Matthew Smith, coming to us from Smitty Manor down in Charleston once again. Smitty, good to have you with us. How are you, my friend? Well,
Smitty, you're live.
Thought we had Smitty with us. We'll get back to Smitty in just a second, but I know he's there. We'll get to him in just a second. 888-898-2525, South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. Lines are open. You can join us. So, season's over for South Carolina, and except for some track athletes who'll be participating in the NCAA Outdoor Track Championships this week in Eugene, Oregon, the athletic seasons in South Carolina, they have come to an end, with South Carolina being eliminated from their regional in Columbia. I was there for all the games. And we can talk about what went down. I will say this, 3 one-run games for South Carolina. They won one of them. They lost 2 of them. Anytime you have one-run games, of course, things could have gone the other way. Decisions could have been made differently, perhaps. Performances could have been improved in some areas. A lot of things go into losing one-run baseball games. You know, it's pretty easy when you get blown out. You know, you give up 10 runs, you lose 10-3, you pretty much can point to your pitching as being lousy and your offense as not being good either. In the case of South Carolina, and losing the 2 games that they lost, the pitching was really, really good. Their bullpen was really, really good. They just could not hit. They just could not hit. We've talked about this throughout the season about South Carolina's good team, but against good pitching, as we saw throughout their SEC schedule, just could not put together big offensive games on a regular basis. Didn't think they'd see the quality of pitching in this regional that they saw in the SEC season, but they saw really good pitching in this regional. I mean, the 2 starters from Virginia that they faced were really good. Old Dominion's starter and the closer Old Dominion brought in, he was fantastic. I mean, he was touching 95 regularly. Gamecocks could not catch up to his high heat. So it's a disappointing end for South Carolina. And had things worked out differently, they might be hosting, or they probably would be hosting, a super regional this coming weekend had things turned out differently. Had they won their regional with TCU losing theirs, South Carolina would have been the host for a Super. 2 wins away from Omaha and playing in your own backyard. And I got to say that the Saturday night crowd the crowds were really good all 3 Gamecock games. But you had 2 12 o'clock starts, which kept it down about 5,000. But the Saturday night crowd was fantastic. I mean, you talk about a football-like crowd, loud and into the ball game. The crowds were into the ball games each 3 nights because the games were so tense. Every pitch was important. You hung on every pitch. Every decision that a coach made was critical. So everybody was really into the ball game. So it was a great atmosphere. And I thought the South Carolina people did a wonderful job of running it. Weather has caused a problem, of course, around the Southeast with the games this afternoon. We'll update things. The game in Columbia between Virginia and Old Dominion for the championship of that region was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Then they moved it up to a 5:05 start, and I don't believe that game is underway. It was pouring down rain on this side of town just a little while ago. I'm downtown, so I'm not too far from the ballpark. It was pouring down rain and heavy clouds above. So I haven't seen anything officially, but my guess is they are in a rain delay. We had a rain delay of about 3 or 4 minutes until we got Smitty settled in. Is he settled in now? Let's welcome in again from Smitty Manor, Matt Smith. Yeah, I mean, bring you into the end. That's good. That's good. But I mean, I'm glad you brought the audio gremlins with you. You know. Yeah, yeah. That's right. Well, we're good to have you nonetheless. 888-898-2525 is our phone number. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number here on Sports Talk. So you heard my opening spiel there on South Carolina falling out of the regional in Columbia. Disappointing finish, right to the end, to the top of the ninth inning. They were the visiting team yesterday, went right to the top of the ninth inning, and they just could not put any hits together against the good pitching that they faced. And, there was that critical check swing call against South Carolina on Saturday night that I'm sure the Gamecock fans are still talking about. It was a terrible call, in my opinion. And that's not a second guess. As soon as the first base umpire made that call, I said, that's a bad call. He never the bat never got to the plate. He never got the bat in front of his front hip. It never touched the front part of the plate. He just didn't swing. And the umpire was way on down the first base line. For some reason, he was well beyond the bag, beyond the normal distance, I thought. So they blew that call. They certainly blew it. I guess there was no replay available, no appeal available. And that turned out to be crucial because it helped to kill a Gamecock rally. And that, of course, upset a lot of people. And, the Gamecocks had their chances. They did not hit well at all with runners on base. When they got runners on base, they did not hit well at all. Didn't hit well at all the entire weekend. They struck out 35 times, and they only walked, I think, 6 times. Terrible ratio there. I don't know, Smitty, lack of patience at the plate or just what. But Mark Kingston said so after the game yesterday. He said, next year we just got to be better at putting the ball in play. Is he not doing the video?
We'll figure it out at the break. He's not able to right now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you got to believe they'll continue to hit the junior colleges pretty heavily and the transfer portal to fill in some spots and see how the draft treats them with their current team and with their incoming class. I mean, they've got a very highly rated recruiting class. But that's the thing about baseball. You just don't know what you've got until they get into school in August and you start going through those drills and see who actually is going to be on your roster. But disappointing loss for South Carolina. However, I don't think it's one of these things where it's a program crushing setback. I mean, Mark Kingston's only into his, well, that's 3 full seasons. Remember, one season last year was wiped out by COVID. So 3 full seasons, and he's gone to 2 regionals and 1 super regional. Okay. So I think that's a nice baseline from there for them to work from. It's not like it was a disastrous season. They, backed their way into hosting a regional because of the way things were handled this year. They didn't earn really the host regional spot, but they got one nonetheless. And again, if they had taken care of their business, they'd be set up nicely because they'd be hosting whoever comes out of that TCU regional, maybe Oregon State or whoever comes out of there would be coming to Columbia. And it's such a, I mean, the home field in these regionals most of the time works to the advantage of the home team. How many home teams have lost out of their regionals thus far? I know South Carolina was one, TCU was another. That's funny, that entire bracket, home teams lost out of their regionals. There may be others, but usually it's a pretty small number. And then you get to the super regional, and the percentages are so much in favor of the home team winning and going to Omaha. So the point is, Smitty, they blew a golden opportunity the way this thing turned out to have an excellent chance to get to Omaha.
30.
Yeah, in their 2 losses, they left 16 on base. And I talked about against their hitting with runners on base. They're hitting runners on base against Old Dominion. Their batting average was 0. No hits with runners on base. We'll be back. Take your phone calls after the break.
All right. Hey, Hank, how are you, man? Good. Hey, you're up first, okay? We'll get you in this segment after this quick break. Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Vern, what's up, man? A little bit of both. He just does more, I guess, behind the scenes now, but he's helping us on air this week. Yeah, good having him back while Chris is on vacation. So.
Hey, Smitty. Oh, he's trying to get his video going. I see your video. I'm going to add you.
Yes, sir. Hey, well, tell us.
Hey, there you are. You look good. You look handsome. You look skinny as always.
I don't either. All I can think is.
How you like the banner I got there across the bottom?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, I've been watching you guys. Looks great.
And those are all legit.
All right, hey Smitty, tell me what I can do to help. What do we need to do?
He's there. He's there.
Yeah, my headphones are working really well, so I've got it all working.
Okay. Do you have two separate sets of headphones, or just doing one? Or
no?
Okay, but you were able to figure it out with one.
Yeah, I've got something muted somewhere.
Okay.
As long as I'm going out over the air, I can hear you guys great. So.
You can hear us?
Yep.
Well, hold on. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing everything we're saying right now. Okay, this is the problem. When you don't have a separate thing. I'm hearing everything we're saying right now. Okay, this is the problem. When you don't have a separate thing. Why am I hearing this?
10-second delay, maybe?
I should be hearing the commercials right now. Why am I hearing this? I should be hearing the commercials. Yeah, we. Well, I'd rather.
But nothing goes out then.
I understand that, Phil, but while I'm trying to fix the issue, why should they listen to everything we're saying?
Gotcha.
I understand. You know, that all went out.
All right. Is it better? Is that better?
So also the. How do you set the iPad to silent mode? Because for some reason it's set on volume. We'll figure it out the hard way. For some reason it's set. We'll figure it out the hard way. And now how's it sound now?
All right, back we are. Sports Talk Media Network. Phone number 888-898-2525. That's our South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. Did you know that since 2002, more than $2.2 billion in lottery proceeds have been used to fund life scholarships for the state's college-bound students? Learn more about the South Carolina Education Lottery's impact at seeducation.com/education. Wins and playing for fun is a win for education. All right. Your calls in a second. Of course, the other thing over the weekend, all the recruiting stuff going on. Camps, official visits, unofficial visits, and the biggest name, of course, Arch Manning at Clemson for a camp. Those who were there just raving about him in terms of his technique, his throwing ability, everything about him being a quarterback. They're all saying he's the real deal. He is a Trevor Lawrence type of quarterback in terms of his quality. And our poll question of the week, our new poll question, of course, Clemson offered last night at the end of his stay. He came in and went to camp on Saturday, stayed over Sunday, got the treatment from Dabo Swinney and the staff. He got a chance to tour the campus, see the facilities, go to Sweeney's house for dinner and whatever they do after dinner and just chat. Had his parents with him and his brother with him. And that was his first stop in recruiting. Now he's got a few others, of course. Our poll question is, who will he eventually pick? Now, I put down 5 selections because I didn't have room for more. Alabama, Clemson, LSU, and then I grouped Ole Miss or Tennessee. And, of course, he has connections to LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee through the family ties, and no connection to Alabama, Clemson. And thus far, 266 votes today, and 39.8% feel it will be either Ole Miss or Tennessee. He will follow in the footsteps of one of his uncles. 28.6% have him going to Clemson. 19.9% Alabama. 11.7 have him going to LSU. Of course, he's from right there in New Orleans. And it's going to be frustrating to LSU folks if they don't get Arch. I mean, of course, the grandpa was a great player in the city of New Orleans, but not at LSU. And they'll miss out on all the quarterback talent of the Manning family, unless there's some others still to come down the road.
They're going to go 0 for Manning.
Yeah, I mean, really. Anyway, you got a chance to vote there on our Twitter at SportsTalkSC and also on our website, sportstalksc.com. So let's get to your phone calls. We go to Hank in Columbia. Joining us up first tonight here on Sports Talk. We got plenty of time for your phone calls throughout the 2 hours. We'll take a lot of calls tonight. We'll have some Mark Kingston comments from the game yesterday. Hank, welcome in. How are you? Good to have you with us. They had 24 strikeouts last night. I did not see, excuse me, I did not see the box score from that game. Yeah, I'd like to see them do something about that. Excuse me. I'd like to see them do something about that because they do need to find a way to get more balls in play. And we got to hit a break here. We'll pick up on this on the other side. And thank you for your phone call. But Smitty, I think you'd agree as an old baseball player too. I mean, got to get the ball into play and get more action in these games. That's what people are complaining about.
10.
All right, got to hit a break. We'll continue with your calls. Be right back. Was he right about that? Did they strike out 23 times last night against Virginia? Huh?
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. There it is. They got beat 8-3. I didn't look at the box score.
You're telling me 23 out of 27 outs were strikeouts? That seems. I feel like we would have seen that on Sports Center.
Strikeout 24 times. He's right.
Good Lord.
I did not look at that box score. 24 strikeouts. We'll talk about that coming up. Hank's
All right, everything, something you have is not muted. Everything we're saying in the studio is going out. No, I don't understand why are you in here twice? What is
Wait
this?
a minute.
There's no reason for you to be in this twice. You don't need to be in this on your laptop, do you?
Yeah, because that's when I have to put the different pictures in.
Can we not do it here?
Yeah, I mean,
but everything we're saying right now is going out.
I don't understand it's always, this is not anything different than what I've done before. I'm going to leave the studio.
Well, something's
tell me if you hear me
different.
now. Do you hear me
I don't
going
know
out now?
what's different. Or I guess the only thing that's different is Smitty.
See, that's not the reason.
So then what is it?
I don't know. Tell Smitty to drop.
Testing 1 2. I don't understand what's happening here.
Yeah.
Testing 1 2. What?
Unplug that from the iPad. Unplug it. There you go. Now it's still feeding in there. That means it's.
Because the commercials aren't playing. Is this not working?
Hit the mute button. Problem with Chris. Remember that very first night.
Yeah, but let's see what are we gonna be able to hear now.
Okay. Problem with Chris. Remember that very first night.
But we're still hearing us for some reason. I don't understand.
The mic is working. Wait a second. Now let's see. Let's see what happens now. Give it a second.
Oh no, I'm just checking my time. I don't understand.
Is that what's still going out?
Yeah. What you're hearing right now is what all our listeners are hearing.
Can't hear callers. Can hear Phil. Okay, so the only things going in there is being picked up
By the iPad mic, I guess. Here, let's get it loud. Maybe it's something in the settings.
Something in the setting there has changed. Apologize to those of you watching us on video, listening to us that way. We're having a problem with our feed down the streamline there. I know it sounds terrible. Working on it. Got our crack technicians working on it. our 5-star engineering staff hard at work trying to figure this out. It's live radio. Things are happening as we speak, and our staff is hard at work going through their various notes, looking at the parameters and the diagnostics and whatever else they're looking at, Smitty. They're trying to figure it out. Pat's just trying to guess what the problem is. Let me update. Oh, by the way, Hank was right. I did not, I knew that Virginia beat Old Dominion 8-3, but I did not stay for that game. I left after the South Carolina loss. Did not realize he's exactly right. Old Dominion struck out 24 times last night. 24 of their 27 outs were by strikeouts. They had one guy strike out 5 times, 5 at bats. This was a guy who was batting .316. He struck out 5 times. They had another guy strike out 4 times. Smitty, they struck out 24 times and they walked 6 times, and they had 5 hits. I mean, that's a terrible line. You just don't want to see that for a baseball game. That's a terrible line.